Hello, welcome to our webinar this afternoon. A little bit thin on the ground, but quality over quantity today, I think, is what we're going for with our guests. So this is one of I'll introduce ourselves first of all. So we're your IT department. I'm Craig Pearson, Sales and Marketing Director, and this is one of a series of webinars that we're doing just to help people get a little bit more from their Microsoft 365 subscription. We know that people use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. more inbuilt into their 365 subscription that they're probably not using at the moment. So what we've done, we've enlisted a 365 wizard. I'm going with wizard again, Eldon. All right, is that okay?
I like it.
To help us with these, he's a digital transformation expert, and what we've been trying to do is put together these sort of 20-minute, half an hour absolute tops webinars where we're focusing on practical uses of some of those apps in 365. So it's not about that high level overview, you know, this can do that, that can do. We're actually trying to show use cases for it. So without any further ado, because nobody wants to listen to me, we all want to listen to Eldon. So I'm going to pass you over, and Eldon's going to kick off.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Craig. So yeah, welcome to obviously the fourth series out of 5 in our webinar. And today, you know, we're going to focus on something slightly different. We're going to focus on customer service. So I know for myself, whenever I've had, you know, people come over to my house to do work, you know, they normally say the typical thing to say, oh, you know, we're just going to go back into the office, you know, go on an Excel spreadsheet, put in some bit of your quotes, and we'll send you a quote. So I'm going to showcase something that really takes care of that to allow you to have almost instant quoting to customers. So that way you can efficiently, get, you know, an answer from your customer to say whether they're willing to take your service, and you can book them in as well. So we're going to showcase that journey to say, how do you show customers, you know, some of your offerings and everything that's involved in there, and give them a clear price. But then how do you also get an agreement with them so that way you can book in a time with them for you to be able to do the work? So making sure you're efficient and you never lose the customer because, oh, you know, by the time you got home, you thought about a lot of things and you've kind of forgotten. So this is something which is applicable for many businesses, and we're going to showcase that across as well. And then second, we're going to look at, you know, how do you handle customer feedback, and also how do you make sure that you, you know, you instantly reply to customers using AI. So this is something which is quite fun and innovative, and it's also an opportunity for this to be interactive. So everyone on the call will get to submit some feedback, and you'll get an experience of that to see how that looks like when AI replies, that sort of thing as well. So without further ado, I'm gonna share my screen. And Craig, do let me know if that comes through, please.
Yeah, that's all looking good.
Yeah, perfect. So here we have a scenario of a car service app. So, you know, typically you go to your garage or even your MOT servicing place, and, you know, they quote you different quotes for things, and, you know, they kind of give you all of that stuff as well. So normally what this is, you know, this service is not standard service because, you know, one mechanic might say something, the other one might say something. And this really ruins a company's reputation because there's not a consistent way of working. So hence why this app is there. So what this app allows is for our mechanic in our store, for them to be able to see the prices of all the different services that we offer. But then on top of that, when they're having conversations with clients, they're able to actually see everything that's involved within that service. So here we have a little eye drop here. So if I click into that, that'll then give our mechanic a little bit more information about what's involved in an oil change. So you can see things like, you know, oil filters will be replaced, and then 5 quadrants of oil will be added, and then fluid level checks will be done as well. So this means that, you know, every time when our mechanics are working, they're providing a consistent customer service across to everyone else. But then it also works really well for any new mechanics that we have who might not be familiar with our ways of working. They can quickly get started because we just give them the app. They get to talk to customers and say, well, this is everything that's involved, and they can have that question as well, questions answered. So as you can see, that information is all available. So for us, we have a conversation with the client, and the client says they want an oil change, they also want brake inspection, and then they also want a battery replacement. So we've, accumulated all of these kind of services. And what typically would normally happen is, a mechanic would then go away and sit on a computer and put all of this in an Excel spreadsheet full of complicated formulas to try and work out the final price. And this is, again, bad for the customer because they're spending a lot of time just waiting, and they are, at that time they're either getting inconsistent prices to the last time they visited, and there's a lot of room for mistakes. So we've really tried to clean this up by just making it a lot easier. So for our mechanic, once they've selected these three, again, they can then say submit. And what this does is it's going to ask for the person's name, so the customer's name in there. So I can say Eldon. And then after that, it's going to ask for the email. So I can then say, yep, I'm going to put my personal email in there. So eldon@hotmail.co.uk, and then send that across. So what this is going to do is going to email a quote across, and it's going to allow for a customer to be able to accept or reject. And taking a step back from this, so this app was built using already all the free things that are available in Office 365. So if I was to click on this waffle here, you will see that there is Power Apps. So Power Apps, again, just to give a bit more information, is a way for you to be able to build apps such as these using low code, no code. So essentially drag and drop for you to be able to put this all together. And then the sending of the quote, which I'm going to show you in a minute, that was done using Power Automate. Again, another free service that we have as part of our Office 365 subscription. So that essentially allows for you to automate some of your workflows, which for us was the workflow of being able to send an email across with that information there. So as I can see here, I've got now a message there at the top, in my personal Hotmail. So if I click on this Hotmail, and I'm just going to expand this email, just wait for that to wait. As you can see, this is the consistent email that everyone gets. So at the top, it says car service quote. Again, we can put our company name and just make it really personalized in that way. Automatically picks up the customer's name. So hi, Eldon, I hope this email finds you well. We truly a service, and as promised, here's kind of the breakdown of what you need. And what we've done is to make sure that our clients have full transparency, which they didn't previously. We've brought in the name of the service that we've selected for them. We've also brought in everything that's included. So as you can see, this is a perfect way for you to be able to quote a job to a customer, because it creates that clear visibility, and also it's minimum effort, because once we've created this app, we can consistently churn out everything that we want. So on the side, we then also have the pricing of all of those different kind of services that we want to bring and how much they cost. And then we also have the total amount. But then the next thing that we've done is we've added a call to action to say, let us know if you want this service. Again, this just allows for our mechanic to spend less time haggling with the customer and just say to them, this is the price. Can you confirm whether you want it or you don't? So when a customer receives this, like myself, they have the ability to accept the quote if they want to, or they can reject it. Again, making that situation just a lot more smoother, and it means I can take my time to think about this to say, do I want to work with these guys or not? So if I was happy with the service, I can click on accept. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up a web page to say, do you want to confirm that you just want to accept? So again, just to make sure that you want to accept. So if I click accept, it's then going to say, yep, the service has been accepted. And what we can do as a business is then, once we know someone's accepted, we can then link this with our bookings. So send a schedule across to say, these are all the times that we have available. So the customer can freely book the times that they have available with us. That also match when we have mechanics working on the car as well. So again, it's allowing for a smoother transition of our customer service process, or using things that are already available in Office 365. So how this is previously done with other businesses is they tend to normally, buy another external thing in order to do this, but we've done this using everything that's free and already given for us as well. So if I then click into the latest email that's been sent, So it just says, hi, Odin, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for expecting a quote. We've booked your service in as well. But if we wanted to extend this further, we could have a link sent in to just say, book some time in with us and kind of have that that access to the service itself. So that's one way of doing this, and one way of just showcasing that as well. And really, it removes the the pain points of you having to go back to customers and check up on them. It just means our mechanics can concentrate, or even our salespeople can concentrate on that service of just selling the service and also taking care of the current bookings that we have. Again, with Power Apps, this low-code drag and drop, we could extend this even further. So we could, have a scheduler where it shows all the jobs that are coming in and also the ones that belong to the mechanic. Because if you take a look at this app, you can see that it recognizes it's me logged in by having my picture there. So we can really start to assign the work to people that we want. And there's just a lot more extendability available to make this scenario work even perfect. So all of this done using everything in Office 365. So that's one scenario of customer service. We're now going to move on to another scenario of customer service. So what normally happens is, with a lot of businesses, they are not sure of what their customers think about their service. So one of the principles about branding, and I'm not a branding person whatsoever, is branding is the gut feeling that customers have about your particular service that you're offering. So a lot of the times, small businesses, especially, and medium businesses, they're just not aware of what people think about, the service, and they just don't have that granularity and that understanding. So using Power BI, which is essentially a dashboard service, so it allows you to visualize some of your data, and also using Power Automate, we've incorporated AI to be able to understand customer feedback based on this as well, and also give customer and kind of analyze customer feedback. So in this scenario, we have a dashboard created here that you see before you. So it's a company that runs a broker service for Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, essentially. So that's the scenario. So this dashboard showcases all the feedback that we've received over time, but then it uses AI to work out a net promoter score. So that's how likely a person is to promote your service. It also looks at customer satisfaction. So that's out of 100. How satisfied are your customers with your service? It also gives sentiment score. So sentiment score is whether something's positive, negative, or if it's neutral. So that's between +1 and -1. So negative being someone's really not happy with your service. But then with this dashboard, we've also done things such as comparing with previous months. So here you can see we've had an increase in the number of reviews that we've had compared to the previous months, which is gone up by 37%. We've also had an increase in net promoter score, which has gone up by 6%, and vice versa. Same with customer satisfaction, and also sentiment score is down at the moment. So what this now allows for us to do as a business, as a broker service, is for us to really have an overview, understanding of our entire service to see exactly how it's performing and what's the gut feeling that people have about a service and what we can do about it. So what I can do is I can then take a look at moment in time, as you can see from here, and say, well, this dip was very low. So that was -70 on the average sentiment score. So I can click into that. That filters the rest of the dashboard to then show me exactly why it was low. So as you can see here, people were experiencing crash on their smart TVs, and it just wasn't working well. Let me just zoom into this dashboard a little bit more, actually. So one more moment. Yeah, there we go. So perfect. So as you can see, some people encountered errors when they were trying to load their Netflix, and the Amazon Prime was laggy quite a bit as well. So this now shows us that maybe during that time we were super busy and everything was high peak. So we might need to extend our server capacity in the background to just make sure that all of our services are running well during that time, because it's just a busy period. It also allows us to see the best time for us to do promotions. So I can take a look at the heights of our service to say, yeah, this is what people were enjoying. So there might have been a particular documentary that might have come out that's really positive. So it means that we can get our social media team to really push that documentary, you know, and get it working and get people really understanding it as well on top of that. So these are ways, again, using Office 365, we've been able to understand the feedback that we're getting from our customers and really take it into action by having data points that people can perfectly understand, and we can make data on that as well. So what I want to do is, if I exit this, is I'm going to share a link in the so I'm going to share a link in the chat, and we're going to do a live demo. So if you can give feedback on a link here, just to make sure everyone can access that. So it's in the chat. There you go. So if you can access that link, it's going to give you a form. So if you can give some feedback based on Netflix, Disney Plus, whichever one that you fancy, just give feedback. So two things are going to happen. It's going to ask you for your email. And the email, that data will not be processed in any way, shape, or form. It's just to send you an AI-generated customer service message based on what you've said. And also, is for us to then send you just back some feedback on that as well, just so you can see ways that you can leverage some of these Office 365 things to really come up with a perfect solution on that as well. So the email is going to take about 2 minutes. So I've got a 2-minute delay in there to send that. So while that's happening, I shall carry on with this demonstration, and then we can refresh the data to show the feedback that you guys have given. So on top of this as well, again, we have the ability to compare, across months. So February, so if I unclick this, so February in comparison to January, as mentioned before, I think it just wants me to click away. There we go. So February in comparison to January as well. So with this data now, you're able to tell a story of how your software or how your service is performing, and also you're able to really truly see some of the ways that you can improve. So one of the things that we can do here is we have a word cloud. So a word cloud picks up all the kind of more prominent words that were coming up. So I know that positive is quite big. So you can see there were 11 people that had positive in there. So if I click into that, it's going to filter the entire dashboard to show me everyone who mentioned positive. So we can see that these were positive experience, and we can really drill down into those words. So again, this allows us to come up with a marketing campaign based on that. It allows us to showcase, what is really working well for us, and identify and make a data-driven decision about our service in particular. Also, on the other side is, if I click into this, we then also have kind of a breakdown of all of this data to say what's positive and what's negative. So if I'm having a meeting with all my service providers and my team, I can just say, I want to look at everything that's negative, because we're a bit of a perfectionist, and then understand all the things that are negative and how those have come about and how we can improve on those as well. So making sure, again, we take care of these things and really are on top. Again, this is the level of visibility that some people just don't have within their business. And it's really essential for you to make decisions based on a data-driven manner, because it means that you're actually doing things with purpose rather than just doing things, on a whim, and also just guessing. So it removes the guessing away from it. And again, you should now, I believe, have an email sent from me that's giving you the feedback based on the kind of feedback that you've given. So that should send across as well. So what I'm going to do is just to show you how quickly this is, I'm just going to go into the data source. So if I go to view data content, and I'm just going to refresh the data. So that takes a while for the data to refresh. And then we'll see that we've got new submissions that have come in as well. So it's refreshed. Perfect. So if I now go to the month of April, which obviously this month is, so if I unclick this, sorry, month of April. Yeah, so month of April is there. And if I unclick negative, because it's there, and obviously we've got today's date, which is that one, into that. So it still hasn't, oh, okay, I see it hasn't refreshed. I'll just do the refresh one more time. Apologies about that. So So one more time, refresh. Oh, so we're in May, aren't we? Sorry, I'm being silly. Yeah, so we're in May. Apologies on that one, yeah. So yeah, so we're in May, that makes sense. So if I just want to click on May, don't know why it's been fiddly. Apologies. So if I click into May. So at the moment it's coming up as blank. I'm not sure why. So yeah, there we go. So we've got 2 reviews. Perfect. So as you can see, these were the reviews that you guys have already given. So general good, but sometimes freezes. So it's seen that it's quite neutral. As a neutral statement. So it's come up with 0. So saying that it's a neutral statement. We live in Netflix and I just don't watch TV like that anymore. So it's seen this is quite positive. So it's able to understand that this is really positive sentiment. So therefore, it's really given that quite high. So 0.8 out of obviously 1, and seen that as quite high. So as you can see just from that demonstration, we're able to quickly see how we're performing. So if the rest of the month goes like this, I know that our service has really improved and we've done quite well. Again, information which previously I would have never had beforehand. So now I'm going to go over to my emails because it's been sent from my personal email. I'm going to take a look at sent, and then we can just take a look at that. So we take a look at the one that we sent for you, Craig. So as you can see, thanks so much for your feedback regarding next week. We're delighted to hear that you've transitioned away from TV. So again, it was very specific to what Craig was talking about. And this just meant that I don't have to do any of the hard work, but my customers, they see me as, oh, the streaming services really care about me. They're really, really on point, and they really, really reply to understanding on this as well. And if you click on yours as well, so yeah, Daniel. So if you click onto yours, as you can see, that's really specific to yours and it's different from Craig's one. So it's really looked at what you said and said, okay, how can I provide the best customer service to show you, Daniel, that we care and we really want to be there for you as well. And we just want to make sure. So as you can see, things like our technical teams are actively working to identify the issues that might be causing the freezing. So perfectly there. And some of the things that we can do for this as well is we can have approvals. So to make sure that before the feedback is sent,
Looks like Eldon is frozen. So trying to get back in at the moment. I think the good thing is we got pretty much all of that. If Eldon can't get back in, it's a shame because I actually had a couple of questions, but I'll be able to pick those back up with him at a later stage. One of the things I wanted to mention. No, unfortunately, Eldon, we can't hear you or see you. At least I can't.
hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we've got you. I've got
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Apologies. My computer decided it had enough. I do apologize.
No problem. I think we were just about at the end there anyway, weren't we? Yeah, that's great. And of course, if technology worked seamlessly all the time, we wouldn't have a business. So that's just
Yeah.
a really good demo of why you need fantastic IT support. I wanted to mention Microsoft Bookings. You touched on it a little bit in the first part of the demo.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on, we used Calendly, or use Calendly, pay for it on a monthly basis, and we used Calendly because it seemed so much better than Bookings. Recently gone back into Bookings, and it seems to have overtaken Calendly now. So I'm hastily trying to change all of my Calendly links in my website over to Bookings. So just that's one that I think a lot of people have dismissed, not aware of what it is. It's a online booking system for people's diaries, but whereas Calendly sometimes seems to struggle syncing with Outlook diaries, Bookings being in that ecosystem is really good. Okay, thank you, Eldon. As usual, loads and loads of stuff to take away. Love the personalization in the emails that that it sends back there. That's very, very clever. Right, I shall, following on from this, I will send out an email with the recording on, and I will also provide links to all of the previous recordings as well, alongside links to the final webinar, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. As I said, thank you again, Eldon, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And Daniel, thank you for coming along.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.